You're listening to Mr. Credit on San Diego 1700 with local credit expert Derek Evans. Now, live in studio, Mr. Credit.
Friday coming your way right here on Mr. Credit Radio, San Diego 1700. We're live and local in San Diego. We're bringing you the most important hour in radio because we're telling you everything that they don't want you to know. And today that's especially going to be the big banks and the Wall Street gangsters and probably the government too, but always the credit bureaus, the media, and the debt settlement companies or anyone else who's trying to deceive you to get you to spend your money unwisely or just take the money that you've earned away from you unjustly. Visit MrCreditRadio.com if you want to send me an email or do a Facebook search for Mr. Credit, and you will find me there. You know, it's always interesting when I get the random friend request through Facebook because I have no idea, you know, how people find those. Assuming it's from the radio show, so I always accept them. I'm a friendly Facebooker. What can I say? In the studio today, we've got William McDonald with McDonald Legal Group, a frequent guest and always welcome to the show. William, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Derek. It's nice to be here on a Friday.
Yeah.
Take a few Wednesday.
Fun Friday. You know, and I'm going to get to the reason, you know, why William is in here today. I've had a pretty darn rough week, and we've got a lot of important stuff to talk about today. A lot of it's pretty serious, so we're going to take it light to start things off. You know, started off Monday, I got out of bed. First step I took, I felt like a snapping, sharp pain in my left calf toward my Achilles area. One of my best friends just tore his Achilles, 30 years old, tore his Achilles. So I was freaked out. It's like a 9-month recovery. I'm limping around for 2 days. I can't get to Kaiser until Tuesday afternoon. I go there. They say, oh, it's just a strain. Just don't run or anything crazy for a couple of weeks. Take these 800 milligram ibuprofen. So I'm like, okay, fine. Wednesday, on the way to do the show, hungry, stop at 7-Eleven to get a protein bar. Which, by the way, don't buy protein bars at 7-Eleven. I had to learn this one the hard way. You can learn from me here. It was bad. I didn't realize, though, of course, until I was finished eating it. Pulled up to the studio, and Brooke, you know the first thing I always say hi to you when I get in here, and the first thing I did was I set my stuff down. I was like, I got to get water. I'll be right back. I went and got water. I tried to drink a whole bunch of it, and I just felt like the devil was inside of me. It was awful. I sat down. I tell myself I got to man up. I got to do this. I go on the air in 18 minutes. I've got to get myself together, and I just couldn't do it. So I looked at Brooke and I said, I got to go. I have to go. We have to rebroadcast the show. That's why you got William on Wednesday as well. We played a show that we've done before. Some people don't notice, which is fine. It's always good content, and I take that as a compliment. But so that was Wednesday. I had to spend 3 hours drinking Gatorade, recovering, sleeping in the middle of the day just to try to get over this. What's in a bad protein bar? I mean, does anyone have any? What is it that I possibly could have eaten besides some horrible bacteria that had built up on, like, maybe there was a hole in the wrapper? I don't know. Awful. Awful.
Should have gone along with the 7-Eleven hot dog. That's always the safer bet.
The 7-Eleven hot dog is the safer bet to eat, or the Chiquitos or whatever those things are.
The torta.
So then you get through that on Wednesday, and then yesterday morning I'm doing push-ups, and I feel a sharp pain in my tricep, of course. So now when I'd gone to the doctor on Tuesday, they gave me a tetanus shot in my left arm, and what I didn't realize was that those tetanus shots, I guess, are pretty tough on you. And it really wasn't my tricep. I just realized this last night, but that tetanus shot has created like a knot on my muscle in my arm. And so it made me feel like I had hurt my tricep. So it's been a rough week for me. It's Friday. It's a nice day. I'm feeling pretty darn good today. There's some good things going on. Maybe there's not a lot of great news out there, but you know what? I don't care. I'm going to have a good day today, and I think you should too. I think everybody should. We do have some interesting things going on, but that's why William's in the studio today. As well as you heard him on Wednesday. Now, there's a bunch of stuff that you want to get to, William, but before we do that, I wanted to talk just a little bit about, obviously, Padres. We lost last night. You know, yes, I am, quick to give a Padres update when we win and slow when we lose. But listen, bottom line is it's hard to sweep any team. Mathematically speaking, from a statistics standpoint, even when you win the first 2 games of a series, I think 90% of the time you don't sweep. That's the statistics on it. There's people who actually bet that as a form of gambling and have a pretty good success with it. So it's tough to do, but we got Philadelphia coming in tonight for a weekend series.
Huge series.
Huge series with Philly. They are 3 games back.
Just got swept by the Astros.
In the East, got swept by the stinky Astros. And they're 3 games back from Atlanta, half a game out in the wild card. All right, so they've got a lot to play for. We've got the 6-game lead over San Fran. They're coming to our house. If you can't make it downtown this weekend, you can catch all the San Diego Padres games right here on 1700 AM. You just need to save the station in your dial. Tonight it's 7 p.m. game, and I believe it's the night game again tomorrow, and then it's the afternoon game on Sunday. So that's the deal. It's status quo for the weekend series against Philadelphia. Check it out. Also, in case you're a fan of UFC, we've got UFC 118 going on tomorrow night. Now, William, you're a fan of the UFC?
I am.
Okay. Now, it's a very interesting sport. For me, it's the top of the food chain as far as athletes are concerned. We've got some really interesting fights going on. First of all, BJ Penn, Frankie Edgar. BJ Penn lost the decision to Frankie Edgar the last time they fought. BJ Penn is a far superior fighter. He is extremely motivated at this moment to beat Frankie Edgar. I think he's going to finish him in the first round.
Wow.
Bold
prediction.
Oh, I really don't think it's that bold, to be honest. That's why I'm making it. Also, James Toney, former boxing legend, and I'm going to say former boxing legend, who's like 50 years old, is going to fight who we thought was the oldest guy in MMA, which is Randy Couture, who's like 47. So you got these 2 old guys who are going to fight. Randy Couture is going to take James Toney down and pound him out easily in the first round. And I'm going to say probably within the first minute and a half, it would be an absolute win for James Toney if he was able to somehow last the first round with Randy Couture. But I'm going to tell you right now, the safe money's on BJ Penn in the first round and Randy Couture in the first round. No doot about it. So let's go ahead and jump real quick to what's that? What? Let's jump to the first article that we want to get to today. William, I know this was what was it? Saturday's paper.
Yep.
Saturday's paper business section. They're giving us a bunch of stats. We got a bunch of things that we can kind of hold on to here. Now I'm a little bit scared about the market. I don't know if you saw that indicator that kicked off, that Hindenburg Omen or whatever it is, which is.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that? Okay, so this Hindenburg Omen is some PhD statistician guy figured out, and these set of things that have to be true, these conditions, if they are true, 25% of the time there's a huge crash in the market afterwards. Wow. And it's correctly predicted all the big crashes since '87. So all of those principles are now true, which means that it's firing off. And there's basically a 25% chance historically that there's going to be a huge crash in the market. When we say huge crash, we mean declines of 25% or more. So that has fired off. I've told you that I've been on all cash for months and months. I'm not long any equities at all, and I think it's wise for people to get cautious here. At least revisit, check with your financial advisor, get in a safe position, because I think there's some stuff coming. We can certainly back that up with some of the news that you've got here, William. Let's get to the first one.
Well, as we were looking at the business section, I mean, the entire first page is just pretty much doom and gloom news. I mean, starting with the local jobless unemployment rate is 10.8%, and I'm seeing this every day in my practice. People coming in just getting laid off. A lot of people having government workers getting furloughed, from the state budget crisis.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we're seeing, I see that a lot every day, and that's where people really need to kind of evaluate what they, what's best for them as far as dealing with some of these credit cards, which kind of leads us to the next story where they're talking about more and more people are dipping into their 401ks and taking out 401k loans.
I want to spend the whole section of the show talking about that because a friend of mine told me he was going to do that, and I did everything I could to talk him out of it, and I couldn't. The jobless rate. Now, when we talk about, debt relief and getting, the financial gorilla off your back, we're talking about Chapter 7 bankruptcy, which is, the quick way to eliminate your unsecured debts, credit cards, medical bills, collections, wage garnishments, judgments, sometimes IRS tax debt, auto leases, staves off foreclosure, removes liability from second mortgages that have recourse, does all these things all in one. Lasts about 100 days or so total, then you're out of the bankruptcy. Credit score goes higher. almost every single time. And it's extremely inexpensive with regard to what you're able to do with it. It's just unbelievable. About $2,500 total, court costs, everything, attorney's fees.
Right.
So in general, right
usually
around there.
a few months of credit card minimum payments.